Deonte Harty. For anybody that was out there that was like, who the hell is Deonte Harty? I did the same thing. So he did change his last name to Harty. It was Deontay Harris before. So he had a stepfather who raised him, and he kind of wanted to show his appreciation for that by legally changing his last name to his stepfather's name. I think that's super cool. I love to see things like that. But he's another player that I think you kind of, I don't want to say bought low on because he did get a decent contract. But somebody who kind of might just be scratching the surface of what they can do in this league. Now, he is a tiny guy. He's listed at about 5'6", 170. For reference, he has about 10 pounds on me, and I'm a couple inches taller. So not kind of your prototypical wide receiver build. But I saw this signing as kind of a player that they wanted to come in and fill that McKenzie role that I think they expected out of McKenzie last year, and we didn't quite get what they wanted out of him. And now this did come with the cap move of cutting Isaiah McKenzie, who I'll talk about real quick. He is a player that I absolutely loved his personality in the locker room, loved his leadership. I know dudes in the locker room are gonna miss. They're gonna miss McKenzie, the face of the franchise, little dirty. He's a player that was an absolute blast to root for. We're gonna see how this shakes out. I think one of two things happens. Daboll brings him into the Giants organization, or he can kind of sit out there for a little bit and the Bills bring him back, whether that's, a little bit further down the receiver depth chart, or if we have him as, that the practice squad guy that we call up in case of an emergency, knows the system, all that. I don't think I'm going to predict that we haven't seen the last of McKenzie. But as of right now, we have. And Deonte Harty, to me, is kind of the upgraded version of McKenzie. And this is a guy that's not only, super fast. He has the ability to work from the slot. He played outside with the Saints. He really is kind of like this gadget guy build that we see so much out of these little fast guys. But those dudes are often like one-trick ponies of like get them the ball in space and let them go. And you don't always see those guys being able to run all the different routes and, find separation in more conventional ways, I guess. So he's not just fast. He's very quick. He gets off the line of scrimmage well. So that makes him available for an outside guy. All of a sudden, maybe you can have Diggs and Davis on the outside. I'm sorry, Hardy and Davis work the outside and bring Diggs into the slot for a couple of plays. I know we talked about that in the past on the show. Just loving the mismatch that you can create with bringing Diggs into the slot. I think it gives you options. And I talked about this a little bit with Hines earlier. This gives you options in the return game as well. All-time leader in all of college football history for return touchdowns. The dude is explosive when you get the ball in his hands. And, this can give you an option to have both of them a little bit more involved in the offense. And if you have to deal with an injury to Nyheim Hines, you have that plan in place of who's going to replace Hines on, say, kick returns. So I think all around I like this move in so many different ways. I think it gives Josh Allen an option for, the easy passes, an easy completion, and a guy that can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. I think this gives you the opportunity to open up the screen game. I think you can get the jet sweeps involved again. I think he gives you, some of the skill set that you're looking for out of, we got it out of Cole Beasley of, the option routes that are friendly for moving the chains. You have a guy that can work outside, has the speed to stretch the field. And what I like about this move most of all, I think you didn't go out swinging for the fences, and who knows what happens. There's still all kinds of time for free agency before the draft. There's time for free agency after the draft. You can add players for quite some time. Maybe they do restructure and move some money around and give Odell Beckham the $20 million that he is looking for. Personally, I would not do that. But I think the move for Harty here kind of lets you buy low with a high upside, but it also doesn't preclude you from making another move, whether that's adding another free agent wide receiver, whether that's putting significant draft capital into a round 1 or 2 receiver. I don't think this stops you from making the move. I think it just bolsters the group, and if you still want to, find your more prototypical wide receiver too, you can do that. And personally, if I was running the organization, I would look to do that. You have a decision to make on Gabe Davis's contract coming up after this season. Have we seen enough from him to warrant, he's probably going to get, with some of his playoff performances, some of the numbers he's put up, he's probably going to get, $15, $17 million a year in free agency. Are you ready to commit to that? I don't know if I am. Even if I am willing to commit to that, I know we did just restructure Diggs. So Diggs is, for anybody worried about him getting traded, it's even less likely to happen right now. It's pretty much made sure that he's on the team even longer. But Diggs is getting a little bit older. So even if you were to keep Gabe Davis around, at some point, Diggs isn't going to be on the team anymore. So do you want to make a meaningful investment there to kind of plan for that ahead of time? So we're not scrambling for receivers.